All right, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
That's a very good response. I rarely receive from my classes. Um, anyway, so I assume it's a mixture of audience, like from engineering background, engineering major, computer science, and undecided yet. So let's see, would you come out of this after this course, whether you will be able to continue, whether you would want to continue in this domain or not. So let's begin. I usually start off my introductory programming courses by asking this question. So is there anyone who can read this sentence? Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can read it.
Hello.
No, no, no. In its own original language. Yeah. So you're from Korea? Jebal Chamdalima. Right. So you're from Korea?
Yeah, I live there.
Okay, that's great. So the reason why I explicitly choose this is because I also lived in Korea for like 3.5 years, almost. Anyway, so just stay quiet for a while, and let me ask, like, if you encounter, what's your name? Okay, so if you have to encounter or like a task, sorry, ask anything from, and if he's speaking this language, how would you be able to comprehend what he's saying? It's a general question. Yep.
General translation.
What translation?
Translation.
Translation. How would you translate it? So if he's talking something like whatever it says, how do you translate it?
You could either have someone that's well versed in Hangul and English to translate it over to English, or you could just put it through.
So there must be some entity in between which could help you translate from one language to another language, or it could be any procedure. Okay, so let's call it a process. It could be a computer, it could be an application, it could be another person who is well versed, as you said. So suppose that we pass it through a procedure and it turns into something which you can read, but still you cannot understand. So 안녕하세요. 제발참들 치마. You read it, but you cannot still understand this. Okay? So which means that we have to pass it through another process in order to translate it into something which we can understand, which we can read and understand. So let's say after processing through another step, it turns into something. Hello, please do not fall asleep. And this is my general message in the class. I know some students fall asleep, maybe because of I'm being too bored, too boring, or whatever might be the reason. But I have tried to revamp this course this time, incorporating some hands-on activities throughout the course. I hope you will not fall asleep. All right, so just like this procedure, like you converted a language which you do not understand into something which you understand, this exact procedure is followed in computer. So you write something or you want to communicate with a computer in a language which you understand. So for example, A equals B plus C plus D is a simple thing. You could have chosen any language to write to a computer. Computer do not understand this. Computer do not know what is A, what is equal, what is B and C and D. It has to pass through a certain procedure and it turns into something which computer understands, that is numbers. Okay, so computer only understands numbers. That numbers are not like 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only in the form of ones and zeros. You will get to study those things later on in other courses, but that is what we call machine code. Okay, that is a computer understandable language, and this is what we understand and how we communicate with the computer. So nowadays, even before, that could be any programming language. Okay, it could be Python, C, C++, Java, whatever. Now, nowadays, we have another layer of abstraction placed on top of this. Anyone tell me, like, what is it? Like, you can, instead of writing code, you can also communicate with the computer in a different form. Yep.
You use an LLM to ask it to write code.
We use LLM in our own language that we understand, we communicate with, and we generally refer it as natural language programming or processing, or sometimes it is referred as prompt engineering or generative programming. So we give instructions to computer in a language we understand and ask it to write a code. It's certainly not what we call vibe coding. So vibe coding is something like you are just getting vibes of having, let's say, have a button on a screen, or let's say a speaker on the left hand side. You're just giving it an instruction to to AI to generate a code out of it, but you really do not have idea like what it is writing, what it is generating. You cannot test it anyway. Okay, that is what we call the vibe coding, when you do not have any idea like what your device is doing and whether it is doing it correctly or not.